But here's a plug for any entrepreneur. Go to your local university. So wherever you're at, usually there is a business law clinic, and it is free because it's ran by students, like third-year students.
Yeah.
And they will draft up like everything you need like to form your business
Yeah.
and help you get started.
Whoa.
And it is free.
Big gym right there.
You don't have to do this alone. There are people that are studying for this exact thing. So you have students that are studying to become business lawyers and draft up these contracts and all of this stuff. They will help you get your business started and let you know like what else you need after, you know, the clinic is finished, but it's completely free. You just have to apply.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy back again with another episode of Big Boss Talk, the podcast. Listen, I'm coming at you again, no other than a top tier guest. We try to provide nothing but top tier people, so that way you can learn, experience, and really see what different levels of success looks like, and just different variety of people, right? At all shapes, colors, sizes, doesn't matter. But this guest I got right now is a recommendation. All right, so let me get into it. So I got Ilana Green, age 27, career job is Amazonian. Now that's crazy. Amazonian experience in technology escalations investigator at Amazon. Whew. College degree, she went to the Citadel, got her BS in business administration with a concentration in supply chain. She also went to Tulane University, masters of jurisprudence in labor and employment law. Man, that's a mouthful. Elena, say what's up to the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for having me.
For sure. Well, listen, it wouldn't be Big Boss Talk if we didn't get into our famous icebreaker, and it's two truths and a lie. So I hope you got something good, because I love catching people's lies. So let me hear it.
Okay, so I used to make model cars for fun. Mm-hmm. I just really enjoyed that. I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
Love animals.
For sure.
And I cannot cook to save my life.
Cut it out. Anyway, cannot cook to save your life? Now listen.
Can't do it.
Listen, when I sit down with people, I make a note to do my research. And all up down your Instagram is food. So I'm not sure you can cook, but maybe the food don't taste good. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying, like, come on, I don't think you would post it if it was nasty. So 3 dogs, I'm not sure about 3 dogs. You could have added one to the family. I definitely saw 2. I saw like I think it's I don't want to say a pit bull maybe. And then you got the little short brown dog. I don't know where the third one comes in at. And then what's the other? It was first one.
I used to make model cars.
You used to make model cars. All right, cool. So the lie, yeah. I already know what the lie is, right? So
what's the
last one is a lie. And the only reason I say that is because it's food up and down your Instagram. Like, that was one of my questions I don't get into. I was like, are you like a...
Oh, man. Yeah. I guess that was like a really bad lie to put up there. And I actually did it backwards. I did 2 lies and a truth. So, like, I do have 2 dogs. That's my bad. Like, look, dyslexic moment. Like, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Listen, I got it either way. But just know, for anybody watching, I do my research, all right? I do my research. If you're coming on, I'm trying to catch that lie. So that's what's up. So, talk to me about the model cars. Like, I think that's pretty dope. Like, my cousin, his granddad used to do model cars all the time and, like, put them together, glue it, like, just the real model cars. Like, it's super dope. You know, when did you start doing that?
So this happened when I was young. Like, that was me and my brother's thing. He put me on, I think it was after, you remember that movie Stealth with Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we went to like what Michael's and got like a similar like stealth plane because like I was obsessed with that movie and we started playing it together and then like it just kind of grew into like our thing and we would make all types of different model cars. Now sometimes I make them and I give them to my cousins and just kind of like pass them down. But yeah, so sometimes I still dabble a little bit. I still got it, but not as much as I used to.
For sure. Now listen, I don't know why you lied about cooking though, right? So are you just like are you like a top tier chef? Like what, give me one of your favorite things that you like to throw down and cook. Like what's the number one go to?
Gumbo. Yeah, call me Princess Tiana. Like I love some gumbo and
down there in the bayou.
Like, yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like that's my comfort food and honestly like even though that's really ambitious meal to make, that's the first thing I always make whenever I move into a new place because it tastes like home. Yeah. So
where you from?
Yeah. Well, I'm not even from Louisiana. I was raised in North Carolina, so Raleigh area. Shout out to Garner. Yeah.
So I'm from Rock Hill, South Carolina, so I know where Raleigh's at. Very familiar.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes from Charlotte, but that's what's up. So we got making model cars, top tier chef. She lied. She gave me 2 lies and said she had 3 dogs when she only got 2. What's the names of your dogs?
All right, so I got Camilla and Mateo. Camilla's my big girl. Yeah, okay. She's the pity mix. And then Mateo, he's this little, trying to see if he's around. He's hiding. He's doing his own thing, but he's a Havapoo, so a Havanese and miniature poodle mix.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, do you like all animals, or is it like the love for dogs?
I have definitely a love for dogs, but like I'm an animal person, so like cats, I love cats too. I've never had a cat, but love them. I volunteer at the Humane Society. Love horses. Honestly, the only ones that I'm not really big on is like snakes. No. I'll still hold them. Like I'll hold it. It's not like gonna be something I'm like, let me go get a snake today. Yeah, that's not gonna be me. But yeah,
I can't do it. So I love dogs. I'm not a cat person at all. I just think they like they up to something, man. Like I can't.
They plotting for sure.
They plotting. Like dogs, they predictable. Like just like me, predictable. But I don't know, but that's what's up. So what I want to do is I want to kind of just jump straight into the conversation, right? So I always, this podcast is definitely educational, like it's for the kids, really just to give exposure, all right? So a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. So like if I, bring so many different people on the podcast with so many different careers, it's like you can never say I didn't know that was out there. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What
did you want to be, growing up, at a young age? Like what did your passions kind of start at?
So I'm not even gonna lie, the question of what I wanted to do growing up, that changed just as much as people change their wardrobes at like award shows. So like when I was young, like I wanted to be a professional athlete. Like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play, I wanted to be in the WNBA, but like I'm 5'0" and
listen,
yeah,
it
wasn't happening.
If Destiny Henderson could go to the NBA, WNBA, you could do it.
You got Shannon Bobbitt too. Like there's some shorties in there. So I didn't do that. I did play soccer in college, Division I soccer. So like I made it that far and was just like, I'm not gonna break my body for anybody else. We're good. We're straight. And then I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go to space. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, hit me up for the next exploration. But so like that kind of went, with time. Like nothing really happened where I was just like, oh, I don't want to go to space anymore. Yeah. I just kind of was like, okay, like what else is out there? Then I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a physical therapist. Like it switched, and honestly, it's still switching. So I think it's just that's how life is. Like,
That's
you
real.
grow, you learn different things, you want to try different things. And like, I'm all about a career change. Like, if you want to do something, life is too short to be stuck in something that you don't feel like is serving you in the way you need it to. So like, go for that job, go for that impossible job you didn't think you could do. Create the impossible job. Like, there's always a niche, there's always a market for everything. So like, figure it out and go for it.
No lie, like that's the real, like that's a real answer though. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I sit down with a lot of people and some people they just know, you know, from the jump. Like I knew I wanted to, you know, work with cars, or I knew I wanted to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever the case may be. But then there's some people where we change, you know, things. You know, I think as you get older, you start to understand yourself. You start to understand what you like, you know, because I always say, like, it's hard to tell a 17, 18-year-old to pick what they're going to do for the rest of their life. If, you know, they got to do this for 40, you know, maybe 45 years, you know, that's starting to shrink now just because there's a lot of entrepreneurship going on and just different ways to make money. So, but, you know, I appreciate that answer. Now, going through all your changes and just changing your, you know, your mind on what you wanted to do, how did you become so free to be able to say, you know, I'm going to always be about a career change, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, also, you know, how was your parents, you know, or that situation, like, did they support you in all your different changes?
So I grew up in a very strict household.
Oh my.
So like, it took them a while, but one thing I've learned about like just navigating, having a healthy relationship with your parents is like, you know, they're doing the best they can do as well. And they know what they know. Right. So like that generation wasn't really, they weren't as freely allowed or encouraged to like just try different things. Like they were told like, you gotta get married, you gotta work, you know, provide, you know, get out of whatever situation. My parents, they grew up in the country and in the hood. Like my dad's from the Bronx. So like, you know, they were focused on getting out and providing a better life so that I can make those decisions to like do whatever I want. Now, they're not going to support me financially. Like they're going to watch me from a distance and be like, you got it. But like, they were like, if you really want to do this, you need to figure it out yourself. And I appreciate that from my parents. Like they did not hold my hand through any of it. They were like, this is what you want to do. All right, do it. Like,
it's on you.
You got to figure it out. So yeah, like, you know, they'll grow with you. It may take a little time. It may take a little, you know, thinking, but like, but they'll grow with you and they'll support you at the end of the day. Like they don't want to see you fail. So
yeah, for sure. I like that. I mean, a lot of times, you know, people do change quite often, right? But they get so caught up, they get nervous, right? You know, depending on who, you know, the relationship with their parents, you know, or maybe they just scared to make different jumps and things of that nature. But I've always like, I'm kind of like you, as just far as like to an extent, right? Like I will easily I get bored, so I'll change a job as long as it's something that I can, you know, kind of enjoy. Like I probably won't go off the wall and be like, oh, I want to be an astronaut tomorrow, and then go back and hop back into school and try to get up in space. Like I ain't gonna go that far, but you know, if we talking like just some, I don't know, like I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm trying to figure it out, or if it's something I can gain from the experience, like I'll do it and then try to accumulate that into my own thing, or like my own side projects that I got going on. So that's dope that you said that. And I think you know, a lot of kids, if they're watching, or people, like it frees you from thinking that you have to stick with one thing, or like people gonna judge you. Like, did you ever get any type of judgment? Did you feel like anybody was looking at you kind of like funny, or was because you wanted to switch around a lot?
Oh, absolutely. And like even with my career at Amazon, like I jumped jobs like a lot, because what I'm not gonna do is just sit in a job that I feel like is just taking everything from me, and I like work, sleep, and work and sleep, like, and just keep on repeating that. So yeah, like especially when I go on interviews, if I'm interviewing for a new job, they'll bring it up. They'll be like, okay, like are you gonna be on this team long? And I really just, you know, put the answer back on them. Like, do you want to help me with my development? okay, like bet, you know,
Right.
I'm gonna go where I can continue to grow, where I can continue to develop and get skills. And once I feel like I no longer can get that from the team I'm on, like, you better believe I'm gonna look for the next thing. Like,
super dope. Yeah. You gotta have that confidence. I just did like a podcast with somebody and we were talking about that exact same thing as far as like interviewing, right? I feel like there's no better position to be in when you have a job and then you're interviewing with other companies because you kind of know what you're looking for at this point. Like it's not like I'm hungry, I'm starving, I need this job, so I'm gonna agree to anything. It's like, nah, I'm gonna be very picky and specific on like if it's something that I would enjoy, is my time worth it? Is the money, worth it? Things of that nature. And so when you talk about, hey, we see you jumping around, but it's like, okay, well, yeah, I jumped around, but they wasn't providing what I needed, so that's why I left. Would you know what I mean? Like, would you stay in an environment where they not building you up or providing the resources? So it's like that's a good way to think of, good rebuttal when given that situation, which is super cool. But talk to me. So we went through high school, right? Obviously, things changed. Our mind changed. We wanted to go to the WNBA. We played soccer, Division I soccer, like that's super tough. And kudos to you. But you went to the Citadel.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the schools in the world.
Oh yeah. Let's get into it.
Why the Citadel?
All right. So this story, it's not rebellious. This was me thinking I was rebelling, and it just backfired in a whole different way. Like I said, my parents were strict. My dad was Army. My brother, shout out to my brother. He is older, and he went to the Naval Academy. Like when I tell you textbook genius, this man
got it.
Like brains just crazy. It's wild. So then I was, the athlete. And I think I got to the point maybe like sophomore, junior year. And so many people were pressing me to go to the Naval Academy. They're like, go to the Naval Academy. Like it's a free education. Like you just have to serve for X amount of years afterwards. Yada, yada, yada. And I was like, bruh, nah. Like, no.
That ain't gonna be me.
Right. Like that's not what I'm doing. So, and then I also kind of got to a place where I was questioning if I even loved soccer to the point where I needed to continue to the next level. I was very burnt out. I was tired for many reasons, emotionally, like being a Black woman in that sport. It's tough, you're under a microscope. So like it's tough, and I got tired of it. So I was just like, no, like I'm not going to the Naval Academy. So like I didn't do my applications and stuff early, and that process starts so early. Like you have to be on top of it. And then I was like, no, like I don't even want to play soccer. So like I was just screwing around at practice and just like not really setting myself up. Like after like a lifetime of like playing the sport, like girl, suck it up for like one more year and get the scholarship and go. Like, what are you doing?
You was ready to burn it. You was about to burn it to the ground.
Right. I was ready to risk it all for no reason. Like, so that was like my rebellious stage. And like junior year came, and that's like the big signing year, I think, for just about every sport. And there were schools that were looking at me. However, they weren't really giving me the money that I was like, nah, I should be getting. But I also was slacking off. So like, there it is. Right. So the Citadel came to watch me play and wanted me to come on an official visit. I really wanted to go to Winthrop. That was who I wanted to play for. So I know Raquel very well. I've been campus like a lot. So went to the Citadel. The official visits are not official visits. If anybody's looking at the Citadel on here, ask questions. Ask to go in the barracks. Like, do not make the decision from whatever official visit you go on, especially as an athlete, because they try and hype it up like it's something it's not. So I get to the school and like I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my goodness, like the buildings look like castles. This is so great. Like this is fun. And I like saw everybody in the uniforms, and I was just like, oh man, like I don't have to pick out what I'm gonna wear every day. Like, oh no, perfect. Like this is great. I can just roll out of bed and just put on the uniform. Fine. So, child, I got there. They cut off all my hair. I was looking like a dirty Q-tip. I don't even have pictures anymore. So like, it was all gone. It was all gone.
Like bald? We talking like
not bald, like pixie cut, like shorter, like shorter than like a cute pixie cut. So like, it wasn't even enough to like style it, like do a Nia Long situation.
Yeah.
It was just dirty Q-tip. Like that's the only thing I can describe it as.
What did you say when they brought the clippers out? Like you didn't like be like, all right, I can't do this. Like I gotta go.
Well, my parents, before they dropped me off, they were like, all right, bye. Like, so like, where was I going? So I was just like, all right, well, this is my life. Like, we're going to do it. So yeah, I cut off all my hair, did the whole little knob ear situation, played soccer. I roughed it out for 4 years and my hair did grow back. So I guess that's good.
Yeah. So if you had to do it again, you obviously, by the conversation, I don't think you would go back. But like, what did you, kind of like, what did you pick up? Like, what was some of the good out of the Citadel? Because even myself, like, I've we played a basketball tournament at the Citadel, and just the uniforms itself was like, nah, I'm good. Anything with military, I was like, nah, I'm out. And so I was just like, I'm not trying to be like on no structure, even though when I hear the Citadel, where people graduate from the Citadel, that Citadel stamp on that degree, like if obviously you go to somewhere and you say I'm from the Citadel, like it gives you a little boost. I don't know if you've seen that, at all, but I have heard people say like people, take that to heed. Like they went to the Citadel military, they're punctual, they know their stuff on, you know what I'm saying? So what's some of the good that you can take out of the Citadel?
So I think for that statement, like when I feel like, the stamp of approval, the Citadel stamp, right? Mm-hmm. I think that personally, and, I'll probably get torn apart for this, but I feel like it breeds entitlement, honestly. And it's not the same for everybody. I think people have to take into consideration when the first female went through, what that was like, right? And it was bad. They ran her out, when the first female actually graduated, when the first Black female actually graduated. So it doesn't serve the same purpose as I think it does for other demographics.
Okay.
I think with other demographics, sure, they can show, their ring and like, cool. But as far as like, someone that looks like me and is a woman, we still have to be 10 times better to get even an ounce of respect there. So that's my relationship with that school. But like, I think I used to be very sensitive. Like I was, and I still am to a degree, but like, it taught me how to be persistent, and not let even some of the worst things like get you down, like keep on pushing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it did help me become who I am today. And I'll never, put the Citadel down for that. I just don't think it's the same experience for everybody that they advertise.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I appreciate the honesty because I'm not on here trying to bash the Citadel, but to each his own. Like you got to be a certain type of person to be able to go to the school, or, you could be one of those people to tough it out and just be, a little bit miserable for 4 years. Yeah. But, it's up to you. But I appreciate the honesty about the Citadel. I can attest to just how it looks for different demographics, right? I'm not sure. Josh Massey, who I grew up with. You have attorney. I don't know if you know Attorney Gallman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Attorney Gallman, Dresco or Dre Schultz.
Wait. Like Schultz? Yeah, he was in my class.
So Dre Schultz is actually, I went to school with a girl by the name of Sierra Gilmore. So his wife now.
His wife, yeah.
Yeah, so we went to high school together and graduated at the same time. And so I had her on the podcast. But I know Dre just by playing football against him in college and stuff like that. But, guys like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure they have different stories about what the Citadel, that stamp of approval, looks like versus somebody like yourself, like in your shoes, like being a Black woman, you know what I'm saying? Like how you carry yourself. You said you had to be, 10 times as good just to get this ounce of respect. So you fight so many different battles that a lot of these guys don't and probably won't, will never understand. So Shout out to you. What's the last advice you would give someone like yourself? Like if there's a young lady out there that's really thinking about the Citadel that it could be beneficial for them, what advice would you give them going into a school like that, a program? How do they survive?
Yeah. First of all, read the rule books, play the game. It's a game. Play
Yeah.
it. And know who you are. Don't allow them this idea of breaking you down to build you up
Mm-hmm.
into somebody else. Don't let them do that. You may be doing a lot of push-ups. but but keep your sense of identity, because like you worked so hard to become the person you are, and as you can take things to learn to continue to grow from this school, you really can, but do not let them break you down to the point you no longer have a sense of identity.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Dang, that's crazy. Okay, cool. So we got out of the Citadel. Just wanted to know why you went to the Citadel, and then you end up you say, "All right, I got my 4 year degree," and then you say, "I'm gonna hop right back into school."
Yeah.
What was that? I mean, what was that decision like? Just going back to school, and then it's like that. I guess that master's. Like, what was the goal? Like, what's your plan with getting that master's degree?
You know, I didn't have a plan. I was winging it. I just knew. So pretty much I was in my first role at Amazon. Like when I tell you I graduated from the Citadel and like 2 weeks later I'd already moved to Baltimore and was starting my first position at Amazon. Like that's how quickly everything happened.
Yeah.
So I quickly realized in that role it was not for me. Didn't like it.
What was the role? What was the role?
Yeah, so I was an area manager at a site, BWI2, out of Baltimore,
Okay.
Maryland. And I love Baltimore because, like, you got seafood, like the seafood up there.
Crazy.
It went crazy.
That's
so
the real deal.
I loved it. Yeah, like, you know, and I like to eat. So, like, you know, I was at home.
Yep.
But I think it was just, you know, part of that burnout that I was talking about, like, especially going to a school like the Citadel, you don't get to recover. So like you just keep on grinding it out.
Yeah.
And when I got to this role, it was so intense from like the hours that you work to, you know, just, I thought it personally was a glorified babysitter, area manager in a warehouse. Like you just manage your people, and
Yeah.
It's so many people you can't even get like a true relationship with them to truly manage the way that you should be managing.
Right.
So like from that I was just like, yeah, this is not me. So I started, you know, networking, started talking to different departments at the site. It was like, all right, like what do I want to do? Got close with the HR team, was like, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
I knew I always had a love for law. So like I thought that I was going to eventually go to law school. And then there was this degree, and it was a new program, Master's in Jurisprudence at Tulane. I could take the classes online, come down during the summer. Like, who doesn't want to go to New Orleans during the summer? Like, so I was like, oh, this is great. And then I don't have to take the bar exam at the end. Like, I don't have to be stuck in one state for however long. This is a deal. So yeah, so like I was like, it's a law and business combination. Cool, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Because when I was interviewing for roles to get into HR, they were like, well, you don't have experience. Yeah, because I just graduated like 2 weeks ago. And then they were like, oh, well, you don't have the education. I was like, I mean, arguably, like business degree, I could probably pull it off. But if that's what you want, that like cool, we can make something happen. So yeah, I ended up getting into a different position that was more within like the degree I got in supply chain. So I was working nights on that job, decided to go to school during the days, do my classes and stuff, toughed that out for 2 years, graduated, and got into the HR field, and kind of bounced around there until I figured out what I wanted to do. Got experience from each role. And, you know, I actually wrote down what role I would like to do. And I didn't even know it was a thing. And God works crazy. Like maybe a month later, like, you know, a recruiter reached out to me and was like, hey, like, you think you would be great for this? We're going to sign you up for an interview. I was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Cool. Like it was exactly what I wrote down. So interviewed, and I've been in this role ever since. So it's been almost 2 years.
Man, that's an amazing journey. And I'm pretty sure along that journey you've had to fight some battles, within, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like, I'm not feeling fulfilled. Am I on the right track? We said earlier, like, I still, don't know if I'm on the right track. You know what I mean? Like, you never really know. But the steps that you had to get there, and then to be able to get into a role where you like, now this is kind of what I want to do. When I was writing my things down that I like, this was what came to me. In the role that you're in now, what does that consist of? And
Yeah.
give us the name again, because I can't say it. Like,
Yeah,
that's all
yeah, yeah. So it's AET, Amazonian Experience and Technology Team. And
Okay.
that's like kind of the umbrella I'm under, because HR is really broad at Amazon. Like, this is crazy. It's wild. So this team is an escalations team, and I deal with any type of escalation that comes through our ethics line, or if people are emailing Jeff Bezos, since he gave his email out to the world in a Time magazine interview. Those emails kind of get sent to our team. And if they're anything like employee related type of issues, so like leave, accommodations, pay, those come to my team, and we investigate it and try and make the situation right for the employee. So
Okay. That's
yeah.
it. So HR. So I mean, very much heavy HR. On a day to day, I guess, what do you like about the job, and then what are some of the things that you don't like about the job? Because maybe somebody wants to be an Amazonian. You know what I'm saying? That name is just super cool, like Amazonian. So they want to be an Amazon, but I want to give them the good and the bad, right? Because in each job there's going to be good and bad. But it's like it's almost like a relationship. I'm willing to put up with this bad because this is good. You know what I mean? So like, what's some of the good and the bad with the role?
For sure. So I think with Amazon, any role, first, get your foot in the door. Get your foot in the door. It may be a crappy role. Like my first one, I thoroughly did not enjoy. But it is a lot easier to move around in the company than it is to like quit and then try and like get back into whichever role you want to do. So like just, thug it out for a little bit and move, like excel at what you do, show them that you can do it even if you don't like it, and then, move. So get your foot in the door is the first thing. For Amazon in general, you're going to work hard. Like, I'm not going to BS you. Like, there have been years that I didn't get to go home for Christmas, that I didn't get to go home for Thanksgiving, because that is our busy time. And I mean, I'm not gonna throw everybody under the bus, but y'all be causing it when y'all ordering all these packages around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Listen, I get it. Two-day delivery. I get it.
I maybe had you bottled up, because last year was an Amazon type Christmas, so
No, I get it. Like, and I do it too. So like, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, like just understand holidays, depending on your role, you may be in peak and they may implement a blackout period where you're just not allowed to take those vacations. Or I currently work from home. So like, I know that if I'm going to be somewhere, I just tell my family like, hey, like communication is key, right? Like, I may have to work a little bit, but I'm here. Like,
right.
So I think just take that with a grain of salt. However, like, your stock options that you get, like, the pay that you get, you get compensated, So just, get your foot in the door, thug it out for a little bit and find the role that you want. Don't let anybody tell you that you're jumping around too much, because that's a non-factor, especially if you do your job good, as I know everybody listening to this will. Figure out what you like, because like I said, life's too short to be doing something you don't like and not getting paid for it. Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we went Amazonian. I like it. I tried to apply to Amazon. LinkedIn doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. Like applying on LinkedIn, it just doesn't work. But it's okay though. I understand like the blackout periods and stuff like that, because I used to work in retail, but now we're out in Houston, account manager, so we work for Verizon. But I guess I'm trying to just let people understand, like, anything in life, you're gonna have to kind of fight for it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's gonna come easy. Like, I don't want anybody to think like, listen to this podcast will make it any easier to get what you want. You definitely gonna have to put in the
Facts.
work. But you just gave us a few, gave some few keys. If you go to the Citadel, right, how to survive, make it less, I don't know, just bearable, right? Making it a bit more bearable.
Yeah.
And then it's like also, working your way in Amazon, right? You may start here, but it's easier, like you said, to move within the company versus being outside the club and trying to get in. You know what I mean? So it's for the words of Chris Brown, but that's dope. And I appreciate it. So do you love what you do? Like what?
No, I actually do. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. I mean, I also get to work out of the comfort of my home. So that's a plus. Like, I don't really have to worry about, if I want to like go and travel somewhere, like I can do that. My team's global. I love that about my team. And they're all just really, I don't think you come across this often. So like, I really have to touch on this, but like when you come across a team of people that are just genuinely good people and want to see everybody like win, it's different. It just hits totally different. Like, and it's a great place to be. So
it's definitely different, man. You can get like I guess spoiled with that type of environment because not all environments are like that. You know what I mean? Like, you can definitely get spoiled. So that's cool. What I want to do now is I appreciate you, kind of giving us the breakdown of what you do, what's out there, what you can become. Obviously, you're doing your thing, and so somebody's watching because you were recommended. You know what I mean? So I want to go into your side business as far as like making the puppy treats, right? So tell us the name of the business. How'd you get into it? Like,
so Positively Delicious kind of came. I don't really even know. I love dogs. Like I said, I love animals, and I love cooking. And so, especially during the pandemic, I just started making these dog treats for my own dogs, like especially when things were originally just kind of shut down. I was like, well, they need treats. Like, they need food. Like, they gotta get something, and they're not getting my food. Like, so I started, playing around with some recipes, doing some research on dog-friendly ingredients and started making my own treats. And then my friends started asking me for them for their dogs. And then they were like, hey, my friend just reached out. She fed her dog some of my treats and loved them. Like, can you send some to her? And like, I was like, okay, let me not get sued real quick. So that's when like I started the LLC and like, made sure that I got the Department of Agriculture like sign off and all of the certifications and things that I needed to actually legitimately do this. And that's what I did. And honestly, it wasn't all like great. Like it wasn't where it is now, like for the first year. Because I started during the pandemic, I had 0 sales, but I believed in what I was doing to the point where I was just like, I know this is where I'm supposed to be, feeding into. I know this is where I'm supposed to be like watering, and this is my baby. Like I'm gonna get there. And I just continued to like organize and continue to be creative in what I wanted to do and build my brand, use that time to build my brand up. And when I moved to Savannah, it's all about location. Like I was in Atlanta, which isn't,
Savannah?
like these people go crazy for their dogs, and I love it. So,
man, if you need to come to Austin, if you come to Austin, Texas, they love their dogs. I'm trying to tell you.
People go wild. So like in organic dog treats that look like human foods, like
that's a treat.
It took off. So like I still don't even have a storefront because I don't need it. I just do pop-up events and go to pop-up events on Saturdays, sometimes during the week, farmers markets, and people find me and they want their treats. Like so it's just turned into something really cool and a way that I can spread love and positivity like during times that are a little rocky, like socially, it's a weird time. So like with every treat that you get, you get a positive note or like some really corny pup
Oh,
pun. I am a nerd at heart. Like
okay.
I say some of the corniest stuff. So like I just put that on there and people get a kick out of it. But like really my mission here is just if one person can have their day become better
Yeah,
after an interaction with me at one of these events, like that's all really I want to do. Just spread that positivity and love because I feel like that's really what's needed right now in the world. So
man, that's
yeah,
dope. That's a
yeah,
win. I mean, I love the idea. Like people go crazy about their dogs, and then when you got like you said, organic, I guess treats. That's another plus because having pets, like there's allergies, there's things you don't know. Like they're just like humans. Like we can't eat everything. Sometimes you can't give them high protein foods. It got to be more of a
yeah.
vegetable base. Like it gets crazy and expensive when it comes down to pets. But I think what you're doing is amazing. You talked about the licenses and just getting the certifications. Like I had no idea that you had to do all that just to sell dog food. Like what?
Me
What?
either.
How did you find? How did you know that you had to get certifications and stuff like that? Like where did the knowledge come from?
Yeah. So like I had very basic knowledge of like, how to do a business plan from
Yeah.
undergrad. But the licenses and stuff I really had no idea about until I started like really researching the market
Mm-hmm.
and what you need. And so many things started popping up. I got overwhelmed, but here's a plug for any entrepreneur. Go to your local university. So wherever you're at, usually there is a business law clinic and it is free because it's ran by students, like third-year students.
Yeah.
And they will draft up like everything you need like to form your business
Yeah.
and help you get started.
Whoa.
And it is free.
Big gym right there.
You don't have to do this alone. There are people that are studying for this exact thing. So you have students that are studying to become business lawyers and draft up these contracts and all of this stuff. They will help you get your business started and let you know like what else you need after, the clinic is finished, but it's completely free. You just have to apply.
That's crazy. I might have to do that myself just to check them
Yeah.
out. But that's hard. Like, okay, cool. So I mean, giving us resources to pour into. Like, I mean, I didn't know that. Like, I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, just to be able to have that like free resource to go in there and get something drawn up or get help, starting your business. So like, that's crazy. That's super dope. All right, now appreciate you talking about that. Now, where do you see? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because obviously you got the baby on the side, and then you're an Amazonian. Do you see yourself being an Amazonian forever, or do you feel like if your dog treats blow up big enough, would you stop and just do that full time? Like, what's the
So I'm definitely a person that believes in multiple streams of income.
okay? I got you. Makes sense.
I'm gonna ride this out at Amazon until like I truly cannot.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna stop developing different ideas that I have, and there's a lot. There's things coming up that I think will be really big. So y'all just stay on the lookout for some other things that are totally like outside of like animal or Amazon, totally different.
Can we get the scoop? One.
I'll give you a little teaser. It's gonna be something very women empowering, and having to do with traveling.
Okay. You can leave it
so yeah, that'll be the inside scoop for now. But it's gonna be a really cool project, and I think I'll continue to develop these types of things as I continue to get older. I do think in 5 years, I want to be in a place where I can have people working at Positively Delicious and me just kind of managing the admin stuff. I would love to live abroad for a little bit. I'm really big into self-care and mental health. I think that just being mentally healthy, you can fire on all cylinders, and then like if your mental is just lacking, it's a wrap. Like you have to have a harmony of physicality, like physical health, mental health, emotional health. And that's kind of been a new journey for me. So I do plan on being in a PhD program in England to do some research projects that hopefully can help people of color and people in general. My research topic, I really want it to be around something that you're doing something so long. So like, for example, for me, it was soccer, it was basketball, doing sports for so long. I didn't know who I was outside of that. I know there's also people like, when they are working for 40 years at a same job and then they retire, they have no idea what to do with themselves because their identity was that job. You spend 40 hours a week at that job. So I really want to research that, and maybe create something that helps people better navigate life after what they thought was everything, if that makes sense. Man, so that's where I hope to be in 5 years, hopefully across the pond. I don't know.
Let's go. Man, you balling out here, man. That's cool. So, I mean, it's similar. I used to work with a lady when I was in retail. She wanted to do something similar to people that came from out the military. So helping them find their identity and get them kind of set up and going, because that's a traumatic experience depending on what you did within the Army. So just like helping them rehabilitate when they come back. So that's super dope. I do want to ask before we go, because believe it or not, we hit an hour. It's been a great conversation.
Wild.
But I do want to ask, like, what's some things that you do to keep yourself mentally intact, right? You talk about mental health. How do you keep yourself sharp up here? What are some things that you do? What are some things that you recommend? Because this right here, is super important,
Right. So definitely my first thing is I feel like everybody needs a therapist, whether you've been through traumatic things or not. Therapy is not a bad thing. It's not for only like crazy people.
Okay.
It's a way that you can go through life and bounce ideas and thoughts that you have with someone else who's actually prepared to give you advice on it. So that's good. It's a resource for you. So definitely, like, obviously big on therapy, but really listening to your body. You know your body more than anybody, any therapist, any doctor, anybody knows. Advocate for you and your body and listen to it. If you're tired, take rest. I don't know who started hustle culture, but it's ghetto. Like, I don't like why are we working until we are dead? Like, I don't understand it. So like, listen to your body. If you need to slow down. Like, if you feel like you can keep on grinding out, go for it, but just listen to your body. Make sure you map out time for you. We have crazy packed days these days. So like, even if it's 30 minutes and you're just sitting in a room listening to some relaxing music, unwind, take that time, get sleep. I don't know when sleep became a thing that we no longer need, but like, you need to sleep. So like, get rest. Just make sure that you're showing your body as much love as you're showing to your job or whatever project you're working on, that you need just as much poured into you as you're doing to other things and people.
Man, well, great. That sounds like a great way to end it. I love it. I'm gonna start getting me some more rest, and definitely just gonna listen to my body, because I suck at that sometimes, just not listening. I think I might be part of the hustle culture, but I need to take a step back from it, and learn from it. But I want to say thank you. I mean, I had a great time. I hope you had a great time. I learned a lot.
Thank you. No, I did. I'm just happy to be here, honestly. Like,
man, that's dope. Like I said, I just want to say thank you again, because you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to take time out of your day to talk to me, a complete stranger. But you did, and I appreciate it. Before we go, the way we keep the podcast moving is I just need 2 recommendations, or one recommendation of somebody that you think is super dope, that fits the mold of the podcast. That way we can keep evolving and keep developing the podcast and just create a bigger network for people to be able to tap into. So what are those recommendations? And then after that, we'll be out of here.
For sure. So definitely 2 people that are absolutely amazing. Angel, she is also a Citadel grad. Okay. She started this brand called Iconi, workout clothes. And she was on Oprah's, favorite things list a couple of years ago. So like, she's doing really big things. I think that brand. She's amazing. Yeah. Iconi. Yeah. And all about positivity and inclusion. So great person to talk to. Also, Asia Wood. Woods. She's my friend I just met here in Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's actually creating her own app to help people, bring comfort to their own homes. But just like a lovely soul, so wise. I talked to her and I'm just like, man, like your wisdom is just wild. Like, and we're the same age. Like, I just need to learn from you. So like, she'll have the wise nuggets in there. But yeah, two for sure great people, and I'll definitely shoot you their contact info.
Yeah, shoot me the contact info, and if you can message him and let him know, like, hey, I just did a podcast with this guy Armand, super dope. He's gonna hit you up. That way, it's like more of a warm handoff because sometimes
a random person popping in your DMs,
the DMs get left on red. I'll be like, dang, that's cold. So, but if you could just let them know, that'd be great. But thank you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful night. And if you ever need anything, as far as like when you got your new, your little side projects going on,
absolutely,
just hit me up. We can, obviously we can get on the podcast, and we can kind of do just an announcement to my audience to bring more attraction to you. In whatever way we can help, because I don't want you to feel like this is like a transaction. This is more of a relationship where we can kind of continue to help and build one another.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'll definitely be in touch.
Sounds good. Well, you have a good one, okay?
All right, you too. Bye.
See ya.